Alright, so Mr. Harper's here again. This is part 3 of our escape room tutorial. So far, we have our game to where when we press the green flag, we get a little title menu, then some instructions, and when we click the sprite, it switches the backdrop to our first room that the user tries to escape from. So how we're going to do this, when the user clicks on any one of these, it's going to get a clue. So first thing we're going to do is program Casey. And so when we program Casey, we're going to say when this sprite is clicked, we're going to want the sprite to pretty much just ask us what is the password. So if we click on sensing, we can click this block here that says ask. And so we're going to ask, what is the password? And it's going to wait till the user types in their answer. So let's try this, green flag. What is the password? And so right now I can just type in hello, help, and it'll take that. But we'll come back to this later. But what we want to do is figure out a way for the user to get the password using clues. So we're going to start with the radio, and we're going to give out some clues when the player clicks the radio. So we're going to add our extension, text-to-speech, and so that adds this extension, and we're going to do the same thing. When we click this, we're going to want the radio to speak the clues. So I'm just going to make up a number. Let's go 5, 3, 7, 9. And I'm going to go events, and I want the program to speak this whenever they click the radio. So when this sprite is clicked,
5, 3, 7, 9.
So that speaks 5379, and of course the user won't know what to do with that, so I'm going to have that be like an alphabet on my easel. So I'm going to add a little drawing on my easel just to give a little clue that they need to do something with that. So I'm going to click the easel, and I'm going to click costumes, and we're going to go to the paintbrush, and we're just going to draw some lines just where the user can see that there's something written on there. Okay. So what we're going to want to do is when the user clicks the easel, we're going to want it to actually open another sprite. So I'm going to paint another sprite, and I'm going to give this sprite a name instead of sprite 2. I'm just going to call this code. And I'm going to use the rectangle tool, and I'm going to draw a rectangle, and you can change the color if you want, or you can leave it the same. I'm going to make it blue. There we go. I'm going to make it a little bigger. Like that. And what we're going to do, we're going to just type in some code, and let's make this white text. And we're just going to click and type in 1 equals A, 2 equals B, 3 is C, 4 is D, 5 is E, and so on. So you can actually change this to where it gives you an actual word. I'm just going to do this just for purposes here. I'm just going to do this like this just to make it quick. Let's make that capital so that we keep them the same. Alright, and it seems like I put some space. I wanted this to all to be kind of uniform. Okay. And so, once again, you can change these letters to be whatever you want. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. You could use this and have it actually say a word, which is what I really recommend you do. I just didn't do it just for time. There we go. So, how we want this to work is when the user clicks this sprite, we want this sprite here, our code, to show. So, of course, we're going to want to hide this when you click the green flag. So we should hide that. So let's try this first. Escape game.
5, 3, 7, 9.
So if I click this sprite, nothing happens. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to events, and I'm going to say when this sprite here, when we click the easel, I'm going to want our code sprite to show. So to do this, I'm going to use a broadcast block, and this is a special type of event where we can actually come up with our own events when we want other things to happen. So I'm going to go code. So I'm going to name my broadcast code, and I'm just going to tell this sprite very simply, when I receive code, which is also found in events, I want it to show. So let's try that. So we click this, and there's our alphabet right there. So now what I need to do is I need this sprite to hide, and I bet you can figure out I'm going to make this sprite hide. When I click it, it should go away. So we're going to click on events again. When this sprite is clicked, we want this sprite here, the code sprite, to hide. So let's go to looks. Let's tell it to hide. So there we go. So we click the radio.
5, 3, 7, 9.
So we have 5, 3, 7, 9. Okay. So I click this in the side. So our next part we're going to do, we're going to program our sprite Casey here to actually accept the answer. So I'm going to go, let's see here, if, and we're going to go operators equals, there we go. So we're going to check to see what the user typed in. So we're going to go sensing if our answer equals, and what does 5, so our code here, see if I can remember what it was, it's 5379. So 5 is E, C, E, C, G, I, E, C, G, I. So I want to remember that. I'll go over here. If the answer equals ECGI, I'm going to actually have it open another backdrop. So let's pick another backdrop here. And let's go blue sky. Okay. If that is, we're going to go looks, switch backdrop to blue sky. Let's hide that. If that is not the right answer, so that's if this is the right answer, we're just going to switch to backdrop 2. If it's not the right answer, we're not going to do anything. It's just, we're actually going to make it say try again, and we actually have the wrong if statement for that. So let me get the right one. We're going to need this if else actually. So let's put that there, because if it's not the right answer, we are going to want it to say try again. Boop. Try again. There we go. And right now, let's test our code, see what happens. I'm going to click him. I think it was ECGI. And so you can see it switched to the backdrop, but these sprites are showing. So we need to make these sprites hide. And I'm going to give you a couple seconds to see if you can figure out how to make that sprite, how to make those sprites hide. Remember, you're going to want to use an event, one of these events, And it should say when backdrop switches to whatever this backdrop is, I believe it's Blue Sky 2, these 3 sprites should hide. So go ahead and see if you can figure that out. Okay, I'm back, so hopefully you took some time and you tried to figure it out. But just in case you couldn't, all we're going to do is just add another event when backdrop switches to Blue Sky. Let's make this hide. Let's hide this sprite. So let's go to hide. There we go. And we're going to do the same thing with Casey. Events. Backdrop switches to Blue Sky. We're going to go hide, and I'm just going to duplicate this hide block right here. And we could actually just duplicate this block here. And let's go Blue Sky, and let's duplicate our hide block. There we go. So let's test our code to make sure it works. BCGI. And everything's hitting. Alright, so this video is a little over 10 minutes, about 11 minutes actually, so I think that's a good stopping point. We'll show you how to do our next item here in just a little bit. But anyway, hopefully you have this coded, and I will see you next time.